Hi, my name is Ronnie. I'm a personal trainer, and I'm excited to get on this project with all the different modalities we have to kind of work on some of the issues that I'm having. And I'm excited to kind of see how it all puts together because I've done a lot of different things, kind of one-off, but not totally in a package like this. Do I suffer from anxiety and depression? Yes. Um, didn't know I suffered from anxiety for a long time until recently. I realized the things I was feeling were definitely anxiety ridden. It wasn't like panic attacks, but I definitely dealt with it my whole life. Yeah. And then the depression component kind of mixed with my ADD, comorbidities. I've struggled with a lot of those, pretty much my whole life. As a child, how it came up is from what I thought my personality was, is I was being over dramatic, and I felt things really hard. Not until really recently I realized that people don't feel as much as I do through different things that I've gone through. But yeah, kind of tampers you down. You don't really go through you feel like you're second guessing or overthinking everything you do because you're afraid that you're being dramatic or overdoing it so yeah, made me now too aware of my environment. I was diagnosed around 5. My mom went to the office and she got diagnosed, so then they tested me and my brother. And I had a lot of markers for ADD. So it was around that time. Speech impediment, IQ was high enough, but my test grades were bad. Things like that. And then just going through school, the frustration that I had with not catching up with people, that kind of brought my confidence down, and it kind of just started to trickle effect the rest of my life. It interferes with my daily quality of life. I guess the organization factor, the motivation factors are different from most things that a lot of people come across. The confidence that I've had pretty much my whole life, and the ability to use my brain in the way that works for me to get me, through each day is kind of a struggle. I've had to learn that through the years. In school and college, high school, I was just enough to get by. They put me on stimulants my 11th grade year, I think. Or no, my 9th grade year. So I wouldn't fail a year for math. That allowed me to get through and kind of be bottom of the barrel for my class. And then when I got to college, it was just a free-for-all. There was no structure. I didn't know how to manage my time. I was working, classes all over the place, and it was not good for me. Yeah.
And were you taking medicine at that time?
Yes, I started out with Ritalin, and then moved to Adderall, which that was probably a mistake. The side effects were pretty dramatic. Actually, for me, I'm obviously athletic and I've worked out my whole life. It actually made me want to smoke cigarettes. That was a big thing. It was not even like oh, maybe I want one. It was a full-on. Then I couldn't sleep. So then you're self-medicating in that way to go to sleep. And after a while, then you'd be overthinking everything. And you couldn't finish projects because you're being a perfectionist. And, you just lost a lot of structure. I think when I was younger, I had some therapists help me with talk therapy, kind of figure out where some of my stuff came from. But at that point, once you realize, I feel like the talk therapy didn't really help that much. I've had energy work that's helped out a lot, helped release traumas pretty much after one session. And I've tried some different energy works. I've tried tapping, I've tried cranial sacral, those work really well. I've tried energetics classes, kind of learning to deal with trauma and how to assess, and I have ADD coaching as well. What I struggle with is knowing what steps to take to get me where I want to go. I don't know what's around the corner. I don't have the daily skills to make the best decisions to get me to the point I want to go. And half the time I don't even know where I want to go. So my strategic steps throughout the day kind of suffer. As I struggle with goals, struggle with follow through, because it really, to me, comes down to what's the point of this situation. And if it's a boring task, maybe it's important, but if it's boring and I don't really know what the real purpose of it is, then I don't really follow through, which is really why I struggled in college, in high school. You know, the stuff I was learning, I just didn't matter to me, and I didn't understand why it was important. So those are the things I've come across the struggle. Yeah. Example, drinking. It helps calm my ADD brain. I actually can think clear for a little while because I don't have the monkey chatter, but then it affects my sleep. It affects my energy the next day, my frustration the next day. I have a lower threshold for frustration. And then you get into that cycle to where you're more frustrated, so then you drink again to help you feel better. So I've gone through those. Another reason why I couldn't deal with the stimulants, because I almost had to have alcohol to help me calm down from that. I have a lot of internal energy, but my brain wants more stimulation. So when I do take some of those stimulants, I can get some executive functioning things done for a while, but then it overtakes. You know, lack of sleep, too much drinking. Other things, my exercise has kind of been my go-to my whole life. It's probably saved my life. Started out when I was younger, so it really helps my brain, relax and make better decisions. But it is temporary. But it also helps me get some of the harder things in the day done. But I can think clearer. Those are the main ones I've tried. You know, meditation, it's hard for me. I've done it for a while. I've gone on and off. But it can help. I just have a hard time getting myself down to actually do it, like most people. I'm living in a running state ever since I was a kid. You know, stuff started when I was 5. And I'm used to that. So it's one of the things I tell people, like, I don't even want to calm down. I need to relax. I need to go to sleep. You know, I need to rest and digest, but I'm so used to running. So it definitely affects my relationships. And my full potential, I just feel like I can't get out of my own head to even have a clear goal or, set steps to get me to that point. I think I've just been running this whole time and I haven't even had a chance to actually think about my life and see where I wanted to be. Some of the alternative things that I have tried besides the therapy, things like a foot bath that pulls, toxins out of your body. I did that one day with an infrared sauna. And again, being in this industry, I've done these things before, but I never did it together. It was a pretty profound effect the next day. It wasn't just I had more energy, my mood was totally different. And these new tests that we're doing, hair analysis tests, showed that I was low in calcium, magnesium, which other tests that I've had said the same thing. So basically how fast my mind works, I'm a fast metabolizer and I just run through that stuff. If I'm doing anything like drinking or anything like that, certain medications can take magnesiums out of your body. So I was low on those and basically my body was screaming for it. So having a powder and a concentration that's just for me, it really helps instead of me having to worry about taking a bunch of pills every day, which can be challenging. I think some of the traditional therapies and the diagnoses I've had anywhere from borderline personality disorder diagnosed. I've had bipolar diagnosed. Everything's on a spectrum. So, ADD, OCD, and anxiety. So from traditional, they never took it from a multi-directional approach, right? So it was either take this medication, which some had made me worse, some antidepressants that I was on, to the stimulants put on at a young age before my brain developed. Things like that happen. Talk therapy just helps you run through it again. If you already know where it came from, it's not as effective. So going through something like this that has a multifactorial approach to it, just like the hair analysis test, kind of seeing, do I have heavy metals? If I'm not methylating B vitamins, even if I'm taking them, my body's running through them too fast. So I think this is very beneficial, and I just can't wait to see the full results and understand really how my body chemistry works, because I'm very sensitive. Even my caffeine intake, I can't I have to have it with certain foods or with fats. And in the past, I used to just drink it all the time, get jittery, and it would make me crash more than I was before. So kind of learning how my body works with certain supplements and certain, chemicals and things of that nature is really going to help me balance through my day.